Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm so excited to be here today with our live studio audience. Those of you joining us live here in our Zoom studio, hello and welcome. Those of you on watching on Apple and Spotify and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all the places. Hello, hello, hello. Thrilled that you're here. And I believe you will be thrilled that you're here in just a moment when I bring up our incredible guest, Miss Carol Look, who is brilliant, talented, next level, expansive, visionary. She is a channel for work not only in the emotion freedom technique, but in so many different ways to so many of us that have also in our community who've already worked with Carol. You're going to meet Carol. You're going to hear about the brand new book, Yes, Thank You, which is tapping into the superpower of gratitude. And I love that it's superpower because we know that we're not just playing around with regular power here in Thought Leader Land. We are doing superpower. So I'm going to bring Carol up in a moment. And I'm thrilled that you're all joining us today because we are in our series, Bringing Entrepreneurship to Publishing. Okay, what does that mean? It means that the way that publishing is being done and taught in the book world right now is not author forward. There are problems, there are things that are broken in the world of publishing that teaches people how to spend all this time and money and love into doing a book, and then you do a book and you promote it for about 1 to 3 months, and then it sits on a shelf and never does anything for you again. Has anyone had that experience? If you have, you are not alone. That is why we are doing this series on bringing entrepreneurship to publishing. This is why we are now have opened founding members into the Monetize Your Book Club, because we need to have a space. We get to have a space where every month we learn strategies and have accountability, support, community, and implementation to execute those strategies so that we make sales, that we open doors, that we make the impact and the income that we deserve to make with books. And Carol is a living example of someone who is practicing these strategies and doing this work and being a thought leader in such a big way. So I'm going to bring Carol up with me now, and we're going to have a conversation about the new book, about the ways in which Carol is thinking like an entrepreneur, because she is one, around this book, and how this is going to continue to, how Carol's going to use this book to open doors for impact and income for herself. So we're going to, there we are, bringing Carol up. Warm welcome, everyone. Please help me just celebrate and congratulate Carol on her second consecutive bestseller. So now two-time in a very short period of time, best-selling author, Miss Carol Look. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, Sarah.
Well, I'm ecstatic anytime to spend any moments with Carol are a gift. Those of you that have read Carol's work or done her emotional freedom technique classes, her abundance classes, her workshops, her events, Carol is truly a pioneer and a leader in this space and really evolving what emotional freedom technique and these quantum neuroscience strategies can do for us. So, Carol, let's talk about, you wrote the first book in this series in 2024,
Yes.
launched the book last fall, became an instant bestseller, all kinds of things, but then thought, that wasn't enough. You're just gonna jump in and do a second book right on the tail. So why did you feel called to do a second book in and make this a series instead of a single book?
I would say I didn't have a choice. The first book, it seemed like I needed to get that foundational material on paper and out there, and many people reading it and understanding my story, my backstory. And then the gratitude one was pushing, literally coming out of me, pushing, pulling me, telling me, you need to write this one too. So
Yeah.
really don't feel like I had a choice. And my job is to help people feel better in spite of what's going on in their lives. We all have a ton going on in our lives, and you can't feel very grateful in the struggle.
Mhm.
When you're struggling financially, emotionally, in a relationship with the kids, whatever it is, you don't feel that grateful. And so I did some research on gratitude and research
Yeah.
on, what it really does to you, and thought, oh, this isn't just good. This isn't just self-help. This is a superpower. This is a
Yeah.
real superpower.
Yeah.
So I combined that with the tapping and my story and all
Yes.
and put it together.
Well, it's a brilliant book, and we're going to put the link both here in our live audience and all the places where you're all listening and watching the show, so that you can get a copy immediately, because it will change your life. We can say everyone wants to write a book that changes people's lives, and Carol, you have 100% done that in this book and the first one. But we get to talk and dive in a little bit today on why gratitude is a superpower. When you initially told me, because I've had the privilege of being with you on this journey and having you as part of our thought leader, programs, and when you told me that the second book was about the superpower of gratitude, I absolutely felt my body go electric, because I remember years ago being in a lecture with a scientist. He was actually a medical doctor who then started specializing. He did more cardiology, and then he started specializing in neuroscience. And he said, gratitude is a causative energy. And I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that something in me was resonating and responding to that statement. And he elaborated by saying that when we practice gratitude, right? It's like love is a verb, not a feeling. Do I feel in love? Well, love can be a verb. I'm doing love. I am engaging in love with a person, place, thing, project. So gratitude, he said, will open up what is called the heart brain. And and so I'm so excited if maybe you want to share one piece of research that you did that was the most exciting to you, because when the heart brain is open, it's like the ganglia of the heart, then it can have an immune system boost. There's longevity studies around people that make gratitude lists in a journal. They live longer there. So what's the most fascinating little tidbit that you found while researching the book?
It's funny because supposedly does a gratitude list. Well, they don't, and they don't do it consistently, and neither did I. But when you get into the science, it's like, oh, this is really cool. This isn't just good for you and fun and feels good and makes you happier and nicer to your neighbor. This is serious stuff. So I was very interested in sleep because I had a terrible insomnia problem years ago and cleared it up with some of the tapping work. And one of the studies showed just outrageous responses from people in both the duration of sleep and the depth and the quality of their sleep. So then I researched a little bit more about that. Then it reduces the risk of hypertension, which I think is the number 2 disease in our world, cancer, I think, by 15%, by writing a gratitude list. No pills, no nothing, no walking, no going to the gym, by doing a gratitude list. And then reduces your cortisol. You asked for one, but I get excited. So reduce
Yes.
cortisol by 23%. So
Wow.
your cortisol is the problem with our country and our world. Let's just say that. Cortisol is the problem with our bodies because we don't know how to regulate it. We're all in this constant sympathetic nervous system reaction.
Yeah.
And that creates cortisol, which creates a cascade of challenges and hormones in the body and reduces our immune system functioning. So they
Yes.
kind of built on it. Each thing that I researched, and I had help with research too, it would build and build. And I was like, yeah, superpower is the right
It
word.
is.
Subtitle. Oh my gosh. So I can no longer say, oh yeah, I didn't have time for my gratitude list. Oh, that's cute. That's fun. That's sweet. It's not sweet. It's life-changing. It is
Yeah.
life-changing. So that was part of the excitement, but I knew I was excited about it anyway, because I had incorporated gratitude in my tapping work, my EFT work.
Yes.
And I just knew something was there. Something's different, something's there. And it's free and it's easy. And our only excuses are, oh, I don't have the time. Well, the excuse is really we're sabotaging ourselves. That's the real.
Is there a difference that you found for it? What I'm hearing is almost 3 levels. One version of gratitude, all of them are good to go, right? I mean, meaning they're all good to use. One version is I'm expressing gratitude by thinking it. I'm just feeling grateful. I do quite a bit of that through the day. If I find my thoughts going into a more negative direction or anxiety type of direction, I'll say, whoa, 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 what are 3 things I'm grateful for right now? And it can be, a really warm cup of tea, getting a connection with someone I love, just knowing, oh, we had that nice text and I'm so grateful for them in my life, or just, oh, I love my home. It just feels so good to me here, whatever it might be, right? Have an idea, I got to download on the book. So that's thinking it and generating a feeling state of gratitude. Beautiful. It sounds like there's research that writing the gratitude list, from what you just said, actually increases the health and mental health and energy benefits. So am I hearing that correctly? Because I want people to get that if that's the case.
Well, the most important thing is the feeling. And
Got
when
it.
people are writing their gratitude list, it goes brain down the arm, to the paper, and you're writing it. And that is exquisite. That's just a really powerful point of doing gratitude. I do it out loud sometimes when I do my speed walking, and I do it
Yes.
my tapping. So either way, it's the feeling of it. But they have done research on writing, that just writing is better than having a thought about it. And
Right.
the journaling became famous, decades ago, people doing it actually in their journal. And so I think you can, whatever works for you, whatever, if that means you call a friend and say, let's do our 10 minutes of gratitude back and forth, you can do it that way as well. The point is, it's so simple and so easy. We forget to do it. We don't do it. We get too busy with life. And once you read the statistics, or that's what happened to me, once you read the statistics, it's pretty hard to get too busy with life.
Right? It's like, what I'm gonna check social media or do 5 minutes of written gratitude list. And now the third layer is adding the tapping, which is what you really bring, and that's where we get into the supercharged, right? The supersize. So tell us about what happens when someone, because you did it with yourself first, you would, and those of you who haven't done emotional freedom technique, right? You're tapping on certain specific points, and Carol's got incredible resources. We'll let everybody know Carol, where they can go on and find some of your works. They can experience tapping. And certainly if you, once you get the book, everybody, you'll be able to go into the portal and do that work as well. So Carol, what happens when we add tapping to the gratitude?
So tapping is for the challenge, the problem, the emotional conflict, or the belief. And for the first couple of decades, nobody did anything positive. You just focus on the challenge, and it calms it down and calms your nervous system down. And naturally, positive feelings, reframes start to surface. Then along came the law of attraction people who said, you can't say anything negative, which was not true, but that was the impression that we shouldn't, right? So they would skip focusing on the problem and just say, everything's great, everything's fine, and it didn't work. And I know that because so many people came to me and said, I'm devastated. This isn't working. What do I do? And I had to gently say, we need to focus on the problem because it's not going away. Just if you put it under the rug, it doesn't go away. Then I started doing the thank you tapping, gratitude tapping, and I find it just exhilarating. You cannot be in a struggle, upset state. Remember, what we're doing when we're tapping on the acupuncture points is we're directly accessing the amygdala and the fight or flight response in the brain. So while you're in that fight or flight response in the brain, which is activated for many of us too many hours a day, we're now saying, but I appreciate what's going on in my life. I appreciate what I learned at work this morning. I appreciate my kids, even though they're acting up. I appreciate the scuttle, the scuffle I got into because I learned something from it. Appreciate that it's raining today because I get to stay inside. And it's
Yeah.
the combination I have always found. So I've just done it for years, and a lot of people in EFT now do the
Yeah.
gratitude after they've released
Yeah.
and calmed down and neutralized some of what's going on in their life that they need to with a tool such as tapping. So the combination for me is just is supercharged. Right.
It's fire. It's absolute fire. And remember, all of us that are, brain science nerds over here, like a lot of us are into that. And certainly what I'm immersed in what I'm writing, as well as working, Carol, with you in this work, the that combination of not suppressing and shoving the challenge, but actually bringing it in, saying, it's okay. I'm going to neutralize. I'm going to calm you down. I'm going to let you know you don't have to, stay in this activated state, but then bringing up all those benefits mentally and physically and spiritually and emotionally of gratitude is just such a, that's the two engines, launching the rocket, which I just love about this work, and how quickly things can shift. And even deciding to say, I'm excited about the rain. I'm excited. I watched a YouTube video where the man, speaking in this video, it just cracked me up. I was on a flight landing, coming in from Sedona, and a friend had sent me the video. And so I thought, oh, while we're taxiing, which in Chicago can take like 30 minutes, or you're just driving around. And I was listening to this video, and he was similarly talking about, what if you tried taking that list of everything you're upset about, and you just started saying, I'm so excited about my son dating this person I don't like. I'm so excited about this impasse I've reached in my relationship. I'm so excited about the fact that I have no idea what to do next, because that energy, again, back to causative energy, will change things biologically, neurologically. Like you said, you're activating with, especially, this is why everybody, the tapping with gratitude. You've never read a gratitude book like this before because you might have read gratitude books, which are great, but the gratitude with the tapping is taking us into a whole nother dimension with this work. And your brain will start get on board. It's like, oh, I guess I am excited about this. Oh, this is what, and then we're curious. We're open. We're
Yes.
calm.
And I'll do the thank you tapping. So gratitude, so everybody uses that word, and sometimes people can move it into appreciation, which feels really good. I appreciate
Mhm.
what's going on, even though it's challenging. And I love doing thank you because you can say, thank you, universe, for bringing me the solution to this problem. The problem
Yes.
isn't to be solved yet, but if you say, thank
Yes.
you, universe, for that insight that is brand new about, fill in the blank.
Yes.
What I have found is that people get bored with the traditional gratitude list.
Mm.
Why they stop doing it. They get bored with it. So if you can do thank you, and if you can do tapping, and if you can do it while you're walking, and if you can,
Yeah.
and if you can do I appreciate all that's going on right now, even though it's challenging, then you can expand how you use it and how the emotion of gratitude and appreciation and the thank you words, how that can then change your cells when you do it. And I know some of you do it regularly. When you do it, if you're in it, if you're really in it, you can feel it changing your cells. You can feel
Mm.
it happening the same way you and I could tell a hilarious joke, Sarah. Everybody would be laughing. We're in that. Or we could tell a really sad story, and we have then entered in the energy of sadness or grief or challenge. So we could do either one. It changes our state. That's the work you do in TLA.
I love what you're talking about with future. I've heard it sometimes called future gratitude. So we can be grateful for the thing that's challenging because that will shift the energy. And then saying, "I'm so grateful this is solved. I'm so grateful now. Thank you, tapping. Right? Thank you that my marriage feels back on track. Thank you that I feel more connected. Thank you for the solution to what's next in my business." And that, of course, then we're talking about a whole nother level of neuroscience that you're tapping into here with future gratitude, because that's the wish fulfilled, future pacing, future pulling, whatever modalities, those of you that are trained in this, whatever the names are, it's putting us in a state of the reality we want to experience. And Carol, you're helping us do that with the power of gratitude, the superpower, and tapping. So let's shift gears for a minute. And any of you that, and I recommend everyone go immediately get this book and get into the portal and do this work so you can get your frequency up and get support to use gratitude as a real superpower. Carol, you launched a book last year. You've launched this one. What we're talking about entrepreneurship and publishing. So again, typical model is, put your book up online, hope people read it. Okay. You have chosen to focus on online launch events, both for the first book and this book. Talk to us a little bit about what you did and what was maybe things you did differently. Let's just talk about the launch for this particular book.
Well, the launch was really fun because I learned a lot from my first launch, which was a little rough, and I was, new to it, and had a lot
It
of
was
feelings
great.
about it, and I got so excited I was, tripping over myself, which is fine. So this launch was wonderful. Loved it. I just felt more centered and grounded and really excited. And what I did is just did a 1 hour launch. And then from that, I've been doing newsletters based on different sections of the book. So
Mm,
part of the book has my story, and part of the book has why people don't do it. Part of the book is the research, real numbers,
yeah.
serious numbers about gratitude. Part of the book is how to do it. Part of the book is why we forget. Part of the book is self-sabotage. So I'm taking newsletters now
Mm,
and having a section that is content for people. They don't have to
yeah.
buy the book. It's real content. Now, the first book I launched into one of my classic series. I do a series every quarter, a low cost series. So people bought the book and then they said, sure, I'll do a series for $97. And I got 250 people from a newsletter list. So
So I want everyone to hear this. So this is the strategy, right? This is entrepreneurship in meets publishing. Carol's launching a book. Most people put their book up and maybe they tell people about it. Carol invites her newsletter community to an online event where they learn about the book and then a course based on the book. And over 200 people purchased the course. So I want you all to think about, those of you listening, that is entrepreneurial publishing. That is monetizing your book. People both purchased the book and purchased the course. So that was a double sale opportunity. Now, this time you weren't launching into a course immediately, right?
No, but one of the things I did was I decided to do some giveaways, and I didn't
Mhm.
know how to really do it, except I had my guy who does all my tech stuff say, okay, we'll choose somebody, and he just randomly chose someone.
Yeah.
And I gave away a 30-minute session with someone. And he turns out to be this absolutely lovely guy I met 20 years ago. He's 85 years old. We did a 30-minute session. He bought the book. I gave him the other book as a gift, and he's now buying it for all his family members. Well, okay, maybe it's not hundreds and thousands, but this is how you start to plant the seeds. And then I gave the book, one copy of each book, to a woman, again, random picked it, and she's in Belgium. So now she's going to have two books, and the other person was in England. So it was fun. And then they're going to physically have the book in the mail, and they have different communities that I don't know about. So I did a
Yes.
little bit of that, which is different. And I will be doing a series this fall. And
Of course.
that
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're going to be gratitude and abundance. So look for, again, everybody, make sure you're in Carol's world so you can participate in that series the next time Carol opens one up, because they are life changing. I know, because I've been in them and get to the benefit of doing this work. And I don't go a day without tapping anymore, because I know how powerful it is. So what I love is I want everyone to hear these models. You can have an online event for 1 hour, invite your email list, your social media following, people your community, and you can lead that from book into course. That's the two sales: the sale of the book, the sale of the course. You can focus on giveaways and focus on prizes that become ways for Carol to have visibility in communities all over the world, other countries, other communities, other places where people don't know about Carol and her work in tapping. I'm holding a vision, Carol. Those will lead, and we'll have you back in the club to report. These will lead to some guest speaking in some of these other places, whether it's, again, on Zoom, or because these are communities that they're reading the book, they're digesting the work, they're learning about the superpower of gratitude and tapping. And Carol's really a master at helping people tap into abundance. And so those of you that want more financial abundance, I mean, it's just gratitude is an abundant energy. If we're grateful for what we have, we can bring in more. So Carol, I love the way, and I wanted to highlight, and in addition to having people learn about the superpower of gratitude and how tapping works with it, to learn about the ways that you're really, intelligently and consciously and intentionally monetizing your book. And we haven't even talked about using the book as a portal for guest speaking, which is going to be, really your focus for the rest of the year, right? This is getting on those stages.
The other thing I did, so I've done summits my whole career, summits, and being on, and now I'm on the podcast circuit for both books. And what I did on one of the summits, I didn't know the other speakers. I mean, some of them have big names, but I didn't know them. And she said, what's your gift? What's your free gift? And I went, and what I did is I gave them the portal link. I said, here's the link. Go to the portal. Don't buy the book. I've done my abundance work. Don't worry about the book. Put your name and email address in, and you get 9 videos that go with this book. Well, I got 50, 60, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, brand new names of people who are in the field, in the coaching field, that I don't know, that are not in my circle. They all signed up, and they're all watching the videos, and they might buy the book later, but it's another way to, it was a gift. It was generous. It was free for them. All I did was, and they can get off my newsletter next week if they want to. But it was another way, like, oh, I don't know these people. They're not in my community. Let's get them in. And that was a way to do it. So that was kind of fun.
And you have a relationship now. So, okay, now we've got 3 strategies I want everyone to take away. You can do book to a course. You can do book to getting visible in other people's communities that leads to book sales and speaking. And 3, you can invite people into your book portal. Those of you that train with us in Thought Leader Academy or in the Monetize Your Book Club, we teach having an interactive experience of your book, which we call the book portal. So Carol has that. And when she's on podcasts or guest speaking, yes, she can send people to buy the book. She could also have people come immediately into her world and community and opt in, right? The book portal, you just give your name and email. The resources are free. I mean, Carol, people pay you a lot to do the tapping, and you've got resources in there that they can access for free by going through the book portal. So it's super generous. And what I want to highlight to everyone is that if Carol had spent ad money, if she said, I want 60 new people on my email list and they need to be qualified in these ways, it would have likely, Carol, cost you somewhere between, right now it's running somewhere between $50+ to get like a high quality lead from an ad. So just times 50 times 50, well, you already had the book portal. You made it because you're gifting it generously to everyone who buys the book anyway. So that's a way with no marketing dollars that the book gets monetized because people can buy it, have Carol speak, sign up for class, hire Carol one-on-one. So anything else you want people to know, Carol, having done 2 back-to-back, is there anything else we need to know about thinking and being entrepreneurial in a book launch?
Don't forget to breathe. To breathe. And do what feels right to you. So part of my work all along has been not that I do it differently, but I cannot do something. I'm allergic to doing things that don't feel right to me. So if my gut and heart do not say this is good for you, and someone else, oh, this is a great marketing technique, I can't do it. It won't work. So keep checking in with yourselves, doing your tapping or whatever techniques you do to calm down the fight or flight, then do some gratitude tapping or gratitude listing or walking, and you're going to be in a different energy and space, and you're going to get ideas that are, oh, I heard that on Sarah's interview, but that's not great for me, but this is good for me. Like, keep following your heart. I am not on social media. One day I'll get back. I used to be, I'm off, might get back on it. I don't do it. And people are like, you have to. Actually, apparently you don't. I have a job. I have a career, right? You don't have to be on it. One day I'll get back on it, and that'll be a yes for me to go that direction. Yeah. If that's not right for you, don't push it. I see people pushing a lot of what they should do, and the energy is off. They don't feel right about it. And then as a result, of course, the ROI isn't so good, right? So I would say stick with what you know and what you're good at. I'm good at the series. I can do that, but I can't do the other stuff. Sure, can I hire somebody, and could I learn how to do it? Sure. But stick with your expertise and then keep learning and growing to get into the other areas that you need to be an entrepreneur and to have your book sell.
This is so important. And I'm so grateful you went there, Carol, because whoever we follow, a coach, a leader, a mentor, and you are a mentor for others. I coach people, and everyone listening, your intuition is always more important than any strategy or modality or technique anyone would offer. And it's a form of self-sabotage, Carol. That's what I've really come to learn about myself. And I hear this in what you're saying. For me, it's a form of self-sabotage to do something that feels misaligned just because someone says this is an important strategy, whether it's around launching a book or in business or anything, or in life. Health can be your health too. That someone says you have to do this. This is the right way. Well, if it doesn't feel right in energetically, intuitively, it's not. And I love that you've honored yourself. So I want everyone to really take this in. It's a form of self-sabotage to do something that doesn't feel right because someone says you, or because you tell yourself, oh, everyone else is doing it, so I have to. It's not true. It's not true. Carol's a living example. You can build a huge, Carol, how many people are on your email list? 20-something thousand? 20-something thousand emails that Carol has built up in a community of people doing it in the ways coaching, facilitating, teaching, writing books, speaking, podcasts. Those are the things that are aligned for you. Everyone told me you have to run ads. You have to run ads. I didn't want to run ads. I built a 7-figure a year business multiple years consistently, never ran a single ad, and never went on social, by the way, Carol, because I was late to the social media game. When social media got fun for me, creating YouTube, because I love receiving on YouTube, then I did it. That's okay. And then I repurposed on Instagram. Fine. But not until it's aligned. So everybody take that in when we think about monetizing our books, being publishing entrepreneurs, take that in and remember that you get to put it through your meter of what's right for you. And Carol's work will help you do that. So Carol, team, if you can drop the link to make sure we've got the link to Carol's second book. Of course, you get both. Yes, thank you. It's available now. It's already a bestseller. And you can get that book and then go to the portal so you can be connected with everything, Carol. When you open up the next series, the next class, people can join you there. Carol and I are actually going to co-teach in January. We are going to in person. We are going to do tapping and getting the new download process to get your big ideas and your genius. So watch this space for all the details on that. Carol, thank you. Thank you for writing. Yes, thank you. Thank you for being who you are, being the channel that you are, and helping us really have access to a superpower that we all need.
Thank you, Sarah. I love your community and love you. Thank you so much.
Love you. This is so good. So everybody, just make a note to yourself. What did you hear in Carol's share about the superpower of gratitude? What are you going to commit to? Those of you in the live audience, how are you going to work your gratitude superpower today? I want to hear that right here. Those of you live and those of you joining us in other platforms, just put it in the comments. We want to hear from what Carol said. Are you going to think it? Are you going to write it? Are you going to tap it? What are you going to do to supercharge your gratitude this week? And then make sure you get the book so that you can really have access not only to the book, but also the portal with all of the videos where Carol will make this so easy. Just get on for a few minutes and have Carol tap you through on a video. If it's the middle of the night, go to the portal. It's right there for you. And as we get into that vibration of gratitude, into that vibration of, I can dissolve these things that my mind wants to fixate on and loop on and feel challenged by. As we get ourselves into that state, know that then you can do what Carol's modeling for us today, and you can monetize your book. You can reach people all over the world in different countries. You can build a business in a way that is aligned for you. This is a big deal. So much of the world says, no, you can't. It's hard. You have to do it in a way that's not you. That's the opposite of what we're saying here and what Carol's modeled for us today. So this is really exciting what we can create this week because we know the truth. We can tap out what doesn't serve us. We can supercharge those positive feelings and that open channel space to bring in those ideas. And then we can go out and create the impact and the income that you all deserve. I love Sue in our studio audience is saying, I tap while walking. Yes. Or you're going to tap while walking. Yes. I do it on the street. I've done it on airplanes. People are like, what a weirdo. I'm used to it, used to being called weird, don't care anymore. I know it's gonna, make me into a stronger vibration and a gift. So I love that, Sue. Go for it. Maybe while fly fishing. Sue just happened. We know Sue's an incredible fly fisher. So everybody, what's coming up next? Okay, we're taking this episode. We're going to be in gratitude. We're going to start getting into that vibration, access the heart brain. And then make sure you join us this week. We have so much coming up. We have a Legal for Thought Leaders Q&A. We have that coming up tomorrow. We have a book relaunch masterclass. Maybe you heard some things Carol did today and you wish you'd done those when you launched your book. Guess what? It's not too late. Whether you're going to do a first book or you're going to do a next book, or you've got a book sitting there doing nothing on your shelf. I'm pointing to my shelves because I have done this. I've written books and done nothing with them. So make sure you come to the book relaunch masterclass on Wednesday or register for it, and we will send you the replay and get into the Monetize Your Book Club. Every month, have the strategy, the support, the community, and the implementation to make daily sales and open up new opportunities like Carol modeled today every single month with your book. So we'll put the link there. Make sure you get in to the club. Come to the masterclass on Wednesday so we can talk about relaunching your book. And I will see everyone shortly. Mwah.